Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2021-22 season. My name is Dan and I have been really looking forward to this video because it is of course the Game Week 2 buy, sell, keep, avoid. My favourite series on this channel, your guys' favourite series on this channel as well. You guys are going to love what I've got in store for you today. You really are. So guys, if you haven't done already, get subscribed. I know a lot of you guys, most of you guys are not subscribed to this channel. You're not going to regret it. You're going to love this series. And of course, like the video if you're hyped about buy, sell, keep, avoid being back for the new season. But guys, without further ado, it wouldn't be buy, sell, keep, avoid if it wasn't sponsored by OneFootball. So for those of you who don't know what OneFootball is, it's a great app/website for all things football. Now, I've already been using OneFootball, the mobile app, this season to check out all of the scores on the 3 o'clock games because when all of the games are on at the same time, you need to somewhere to check the scores, check the lineups of all of the other games that you're not watching at the time, and that's what OneFootball is for. And it's also got loads of transfer news and all sorts of gossip on there as well. So really great app that helps you out with football and FPL as well, I suppose. So go check it out, completely free, link in the description. So how does buy, sell, keep, avoid work? Well, buys are players you probably don't have but should consider bringing in. These players have great form and fixtures. Sells are players you probably have but should consider removing from your teams. I don't think these players are going to get many points over the next few game weeks. Keeps are players that you probably do have. You might be thinking of removing them from your teams, but I think you should keep them in your teams. And finally, avoids are players that are pretty hyped right now. Lots of people are buying them, but I think they're traps and they should be avoided. So guys, without further ado, we're going to do 2 in each categories. Let's see what we've got in store today. So our first buy for today is Mason Greenwood, and all I'm hearing right now is Pogba. As I record this video, almost 500,000 FPL players have already transferred in Pogba. My advice to you guys is to let them transfer in Pogba. Whether you just fancy a new midfielder or maybe you're looking to replace the injured Gundogan, Greenwood, in my opinion, is the best 7.5 million midfield pick. And let me tell you why. So, for now, Cavani is out. He's only just returned to training. It's unlikely that he's going to be back playing for Manchester United for a couple of weeks. Even so, Greenwood should play the vast majority of games until Rashford's back. You don't drop a guy in this kind of form. He was fantastic against Leeds. I can even see him locking down this striker position for himself, you know, for the entire season for Manchester United, because he does in a way make those around him better. He linked up fantastically with both Bruno and Pogba. He's insanely clinical and he will take even the most minor chances that he gets and score goals, and we know he will get those chances with that creativity around him. So we have a clinical striker for a top team who also gets an extra points per goal and points for clean sheets as well. All for 7.5 million. It's a no-brainer. Pogba is good, don't get me wrong, but he's not going to get 4 assists every week. I can say with quite a lot of confidence that we have probably already witnessed Pogba's top FPL score of the season already. It's kind of going to be downhill from here, I guess. He'll do fine, he'll tick along nicely, he'll get the odd assist or goal every few games, but Greenwood has that explosivity, and if you own him at the right time in the season, he's going to revolutionise your game week. Next buy is Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So out of the forwards that impressed me the most during Game Week 1, I have to say it was Callum Wilson, who was kind of in my last buy, sell, keep, avoid video, my pre-season one, and DCL. Why DCL? Because of his shooting and attacking positioning. Nobody beat Calvert-Lewin's 5 shots in the box in Game Week 1, and only 2 players took more than his 5 shots total. He generated one of the highest expected goal tallies of the game week with 0.71. All of the above is because he's constantly in the box waiting for that service. He's ready to go with a header, a tap in, whatever. He's a constant danger. Now, before the season started, I didn't really expect Richarlison to start the first game due to kind of Olympic fatigue, I guess. But I wondered if Everton would maybe not have the creativity to support a striker like DCL. Well, 3 goals in the opening game. The early signs do suggest that there is that creativity there. The fixtures are very decent for him here on out for Everton, all the way up to like game week 10. And I think he could just be a great set and forget player for your team for the foreseeable future. On to some sales. We're going to start you off with Mason Mount. Now, Mason Mount got a lovely 6 points in Game Week 1, which is going to tempt a lot of people to keep him. But let's have a look at the context here. So, he got 3 points for his assist because he was fouled on the edge of the box. Alonso converted the free kick. But other than that, he didn't create a single goal-scoring opportunity all game. He took 3 shots, all 3 from kind of low-quality goal-scoring positions. And although this is just 1 game week's worth of data, it is important to remember that all of of this happened in Chelsea's only easy fixture they have until game week 7, game week 8. We know Chelsea have shocking fixtures now, but for Mount, it's going to get even worse. He's going to have to share those minutes with so many other players, like a weird amount of other players. Mount, Havertz, Werner, Pulisic, Ziyech, I guess, when he returns. They're all going to be vying for 2 positions, playing just behind either side of Lukaku. 5 top players, 2 positions, you know, with the Thomas Tuchel rotation. This is going to be a nightmare. I can't really see Mount starting more than, you know, maybe 2 out of every 3 games, and it would only take a little bit of form for one of the others to bench Mount for multiple weeks. We've already seen a bit of form from, you know, Pulisic, Ziyech in the European final game that they played a few weeks ago. Kind of a little bit worrying. Mount is a great player, but a slow start statistically, poor fixtures on the horizon, and an ever-frustrating Tuchel rotation. Mount just has to be a sell for me. Kelechi Iheanacho is the other sell. Now, last week in my pre-season buy, sell, keep, avoid video, I put Iheanacho down as an avoid because I didn't think he would start ahead of Vardy. Well, I think we now kind of have that hard evidence that Iheanacho is not going to walk into this Leicester City team, despite his heroics at the end of last season, which was just amazing, by the way. But in a one-striker system, he's going to get rotated with Vardy and Daka, maybe only occasionally playing on the wing. And if that's the best that we can hope for, that's a really big concern. And he's even been linked with a move away recently as well. So if I had Iheanacho in my team right now, barring injuries, he'd probably be the first player that I'd actually sell. Mostly because there's just so many great forwards around his price, and he's essentially wasting a slot. So we've kind of got Wilson, DCL, Antonio, Bamford, Adam Armstrong. You know, he looked like he has a bit of potential if you want to downgrade and save a little bit of money. Emmanuel Dennis, if he's fit, amazing again in that opening game week for Watford. So cut your losses nice and early. Get Kelechi out of your team. He's likely to drop in price very soon as well. So if you don't have money in the bank and are looking to swap him for another 7.5 million forward, do it now. On to some keeps. We'll start you off with Jack Grealish. Now, this could apply to any Man City player, really, but I put Jack Grealish down here because he's kind of the most sold player out of all of those Man City players. So basically, Man City are about to play Norwich. This means only one thing, that every Man City player that you own is a lottery ticket with big winnings as the prize. Man City are likely to score 3 or 4 goals in this game, potentially more. The goals and assists are going to be shared between KDB, Mahrez, Sterling, Grealish, Jesus, Torres, Gundogan if he's fit, although it doesn't look like Gundogan is going to play in this game. But it's also really going to depend who starts as well. Now, one of the above could easily notch up 2 goal contributions and suddenly be on for a great FPL score. We just don't really know who it will be. But 1, 2, 3 of those guys, they're going to score big, and that's why it's a lottery. So since a lot of you guys are asking me about Man City players for this game week, I'll kind of cover it here. But this is what I would do. If you have a Man City player, a Man City attacker right now, keep them in your team. If you don't have a Man City attacker, don't worry about them. Just avoid them. Don't worry about them for this game week. Because despite this being an amazing fixture for City, I would probably be looking to remove most of them after game week 2 anyway. The fixtures aren't great. The rotation is really frustrating. They're really expensive as well. There's only a small possibility if you were to bring one in that would be the player to score the big points. You don't know which one's going to be the one to score big points. So, you know, those of you who do own Man City players right now, this could be, you know, genuinely a 1 week golden opportunity for some decent points. Keep them, but honestly, you know, if not, I just wouldn't be bringing in any new City players this week, even if it, you know, if it meant you've got to sell players like Bruno, Salah, Son, or if it meant taking a -4 to bring them in. Absolutely not worth it. Don't worry about it, guys. My other keep is Jadon Sancho, and I can't really believe that Jadon Sancho is one of the most sold players of the game week. Give the lad a chance. Come on. He's come on for like a 15-minute cameo on his debut. You know, obviously he scored only 1 point, and 100,000 people have already said, nope, not good enough for me. Guys, if you're selling Sancho, try and remember why you put him in your team in the first place. He's an incredible player, an insane record in the Bundesliga. We're expecting him to score goals, grab assists all throughout the season. And Manchester United have some beautiful fixtures for several game weeks now. Sancho is getting fit, he's working, he's training hard. I would estimate that he's going to start against Southampton, a Southampton side that looked kind of shaky in game week 1. And if so, this is going to be a really decent opportunity for Sancho to score some points. So if you have Sancho, guys, keep him in your team. On to some avoid. We're going to start you off with Sergi Canos. Guys, I really do love the avoids for Game Week 1. They're always a little bit of fun because there's always a few players that get an uncharacteristically large score for one game week only. And a lot of the more casual FPL players will insist that these players are absolute must-haves. I'm thinking, for example, Gabriel at Arsenal last season scored something like 15 points and everyone bought him thinking he was going to score 15 points all season. I think Willian for Arsenal again last season, he got 3 assists in the opening game and everyone was like, oh my god, Willian, must buy after one game week. Guys, they were never the one. They were never the one. And we're going to kind of go through similar phases in our brains right now with these avoids because you're thinking, well, they got such a good game week 1 score, surely you must buy them. No, please try and look at more than just the game week score because, you know, people are going to tear up their entire teams to buy players like Sergi Canos. You know, a player who, quite frankly, guys, I'm sure most of us have never heard of this player until they read him on the highest scoring players of the week. On that page on the FPL website. A lot of people buying them would have never heard of this player before. But you guys watching this video, you're kind of doing your research, you're not going to fall into a trap like this. And let me try and convince you why. So, Canos, despite playing as a right wing back, in real life, he's listed as a midfielder in FPL. So he's a defender that doesn't get 4 points for a clean sheet. He's a solid player, but not particularly known for scoring goals. You know, he does take set pieces, which is kind of nice, but he's not like a big, big scoring player, a big assisting player. You know, he managed to get 9 goals and 9 assists last season, but that was kind of in 49 games in the Championship and playoffs last season. So one return every 2 or 3 games at a lower level of football, how well is that realistically going to convert to the Premier League? And also, you know, that last season when he did score those 9 goals and get 9 assists, he was playing as a forward winger before Brentford switched formations to this year. So if you want a fullback, a Brentford fullback, Rico Henry, he's on the same thing as Canos. Canos on one side, Rico Henry on the other side, who is a 4.5 million defender. So, you know, that's a little bit more appealing to me. On the other hand, if you want a Brentford midfielder, look no further than Mbeumo. You guys may have heard me speak about Mbeumo before. He's the exact same price as Canos, 5.5 million. He's listed as a midfielder, but he's actually playing as a striker for Brentford. He's playing much further up the pitch than Canos. He is historically far superior for goal contributions, and he's looked far more dangerous than Canos during the Arsenal game. From what I saw, he looked more dangerous. I think Mbeumo was the more aggressive, attacking, you know, something's coming kind of player kind of thing. So for those reasons, I think there's literally no reason to go for Canos over Mbeumo, and for that reason and all the other reasons, he's got to be an avoid. And my final avoid is Marcos Alonso. I have been looking forward to this one a little bit because this is kind of an extra spicy one because Alonso is already one of the most highly bought players of the game week. And for those of you who those who don't watch Buy, Sell, Keep, Avoid, they're going to keep buying and buying and buying Alonso. And Alonso is going to have so many new owners by the end of the week. And guys, those of you watching this video, those of us who, you know, we really care about FPL, that's going to give us a huge advantage. The fact that loads of people are buying Alonso, we are going to be the beneficiaries of that. We are going to take advantage of that because Marcos Alonso is a terrible purchase for your FPL teams this game week. And even if I had him right now, I would be selling him from my team immediately. So don't just look at that 15-point haul and assume that he's a great pick. First of all, as I mentioned when talking about Mount, Chelsea's fixtures, they're about to take a nosedive. There's not going to be as many clean sheets. But what's more interesting is that in previous seasons, we've seen that Alonso is favoured in the easier fixtures sometimes. But because his defensive game is not great, he's often rotated out of the team for the more difficult games. And there are a lot of these difficult games coming up. So Ben Chilwell, without even considering the fixtures, he is the first choice left wing back for Chelsea. And I would imagine that because these fixtures are a little bit difficult, Chilwell will just go ahead and play all five of the next 5 fixtures, if not maybe 4. So the best you can hope for from Alonso is maybe 1 start, the odd point from the bench. He's going to be a really low scoring player over the next kind of 5 game weeks particularly. And for the rest of the season, Chilwell is going to be preferred. There's going to be a little bit of dodgy rotation throughout the whole season because that's what Thomas Tuchel does. But Alonso is not going to be a good pick in the immediate term, and those of people who are removing players like Trent Alexander-Arnold, Luke Shaw from their teams, they're going to get seriously punished. So guys, don't get punished with them and avoid Alonso at all costs. So, to summarise, Man City, they have the best matchup this game week, but with the rotation risk and so many potential scorers, don't break your team to get Man City players in. If you have Man City players already, on the other hand, keep them. You know, they could do really well. It's a lottery ticket, like I say, and it could really give you a much needed boost at the beginning of the season, and you're going to love. You know, kind of, if you don't have them, avoid them. If you have them, keep them. Try to look at more than just game week 1 points total. How likely is your player to play next game week? How good are the fixtures? How good was their performance in comparison to their point score? Transfer priority, in my opinion, should probably be around midfielders and attackers for this first game week. Who impressed you the most during game week 1 with their attacking play? Get them in. And finally, guys, if you are happy with your team, you don't have to make a transfer if you don't want to. I'm probably not going to make a transfer myself this week, and that's absolutely fine. So if you really like your team, you've got everything you want, there's no harm in rolling that transfer, keeping it for a rainy day next game week, and then you might really, you know, next game week, you might actually want to make 2 transfers and be like, oh, thank God I saved it. Thank God I saved it last week. Guys, easy peasy. Thanks guys once again for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, you found it useful, please do hit the like button. It massively helps out the channel. And like I say, guys, I know a lot of you guys are not subscribed. Get subscribed. We're going to help you out all season. We're going to help you win your mini leagues, you know, beat your friends, beat your colleagues, whatever your goals are for this season. I'm going to do my best to help you achieve them, absolutely, without a shadow of doubt. We're going to try our best, you know. But yeah, guys, if you want to join my mini league, the link is in the description and the code is in the description. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm very active there, so go check my Twitter link in the description as well. Check out OneFootball, great app. Use it all the time. You guys are going to love it too, and it's completely free, so why not? And aside from that, guys, I hope to see you on the rest of my week's worth of content. Really excited to do my team selection video for next game week as well. That's going to come out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And aside from that, guys, thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you later, mates. Bye-bye.